Welcome to Guitar Search Saturdays. My name is Shane. This is episode 26 shot at 5 Star Music. 5 Star Music is located in the outer eastern suburbs of Ringwood, right here in Melbourne, Australia. Firstly, a huge thank you to everyone who supports Guitar Search Saturday on YouTube, and if you do share it with your friends on any social network platform, I really value that as well, so thank you so much. If you do enjoy the series, please give the video the thumbs up. A huge thanks also to 5 Star Music for allowing me to come through with my camera to produce this video. I really appreciate it, guys. If you are in Melbourne, Australia, definitely give this shop a look. They have a lot of really great stuff which you're about to see. Now, I actually buy a lot of my strings from 5 Star Music online, but I haven't actually been into the shop for about a year, so I was really looking forward to checking it out. I should also point out, this is one of the few times where I've actually checked the Google reviews, and they've all been pretty much positive. I can't find something, at least on the first page, with less than 5 stars. I guess that's why they call it 5 Star Music. Yeah, it's a great joke. My crappy humor aside, it goes to show that this shop actually must be doing something right. I'm really looking forward to checking it out and getting out of the cold. Let's go in and take a look. Please remain calm. We have our first official Lefty sighting. Hey, here we go. As soon as we walk in, we see 3 left-handed guitars. This isn't always the case when you walk into a music shop. Now, the one on the left is the Squier Classic Vibe 50s Telecaster. I actually own one of these. They're a really great guitar. And recently on the channel, I also reviewed the one in the center. That's an Affinity Series Tally. It's actually a really good guitar for the amount of money you pay. And the one on the right is actually just an Affinity Series Strat. It looks great. I'm a huge fan of that color. What you're looking at right now are 3 guitars by a company called Hamer. These are obviously heavily inspired by not only Gibson, with the front one looking a little bit like an Explorer, and the Junior looking a lot like a Les Paul Junior. It's actually called a Special Junior, and these look like really great instruments. The one on the back kind of reminds me of a PRS. Either way though, these look extremely nice, and I'm totally digging the one pickup guitar. Let's check it out. This is the Gretsch G5 220 electric guitar. This might be the first time that I've seen this gold color in person. It's actually called Casino Gold, and I have to say it really looks great. I'm actually pretty pleased they haven't gone for the Gibson Gold Top. It's not that I don't like the Gibson Gold Top, but it's good that they made this stand out. The closest color I can kind of describe this to would be like a Shoreline Gold. It's a little bit lighter, but it's along those lines. Man, I gotta say, Squier have come a long way, especially in the last 5 years. I think pretty much since the Squier Classic Vibes got released, they just continually keep kicking goals. This one on the left is the Contemporary Series Strat, loaded with 2 humbucker pickups. Now, these particular pickups are nice and bright, so if you like your Strat-ish kind of sounds without any buzz, it's definitely a good option. And I have to say, the Squier Classic Vibe 50 Strat in the center just looks stunning. Not only is the finish first class, the fretboard looks also really, really nice. I guess the new thing is with guitars too to paint the headstock the same color as the body. I'm not a huge fan of that personally, but it does look okay. If you like your Fender and Squier electric guitars, this is a really great shop. Check this out. Here's what might be another first for Guitar Search Saturdays. This is a Fender Mustang loaded with two P90 pickups. I'd love to try one of these in a Lefty. I don't think Fender make them, but that said, check it out. These pickups actually look really huge. They actually look a little bit longer than, say, a traditional P90. I could be wrong. It could just be that the body is that little bit smaller, but I have a feeling these pickups look slightly wider. I'd definitely love to hear one of these in the future, so I might see what I can do about getting a video done at some point. This beautiful looking electric guitar is the Fender Jimi Hendrix Monterey Stratocaster. It's made in Mexico and it sounds absolutely beautiful. I had a chance to hear my friend Ryan play one of these in person in the shop. And although Ryan's one of those guys that can pretty much make anything sound good, this thing really sounded great and he dialed in some awesome sounds. The weird thing is Fender don't actually make this Hendrix Strat in a Lefty, which is a little bit odd. That said though, there's plenty of lefties who are subscribed to the channel who still buy right-handed guitars and just flip them upside down. I know our good friend from the live streams, Jamal, actually owns this exact guitar in right-handed, but he plays it lefty with the strings up the other way. Very cool. Here's another really nice guitar. This is the Beck Strat. I don't think I've seen one of these for quite some time either. This particular guitar is loaded with 3 hot noiseless pickups, which are actually my favorite of the older generation of noiseless pickups. I had these in a Highway 1 Strat and it was singing. It really did sound great and it handled the overdrive just beautifully. I've had a chance to test this particular amplifier out a number of times in the last few months. I have to say, just for a plug-and-play amp, it's really good. 15 watts of power with a 10-inch speaker. It has a volume and a tone control and nothing else. And that's all it really needs. If you like that tube saturated type of sound that you get from just cranking up an amp, this will definitely give it to you. I dig it. This is the Michael Landau 212 DeVille amplifier. It's loaded with 2 Celestion speakers, which are the same Celestion speakers that they're putting in the new series of DeVille 4s, but the major difference between them is this particular amplifier has 2 clean channels and no drive channel. Now the drive channel in the new version 4s is actually pretty great, but having 2 cleans allows you to get the same sound at different volumes. I think that's pretty cool. I haven't actually played one of these yet, but they do look the business. They also look extremely heavy. Here's one of my favorite amplifiers of all time, the Fender Supersonic 60. The second generation of the Supersonic amps were far superior, at least in my opinion, tone-wise, to the original series. Now the confusing thing about this is, this looks like the original series, but it has the updated tone stack of the new series in the old sort of aesthetic. I actually don't mind the way that this looks. It looks like an old pair of jeans and something from the 70s with that, or maybe 80s with that actual text. But that said, I was dying to give this a shot, so let's check it out. Yes. I tell you what, I wouldn't need a lot of encouragement to own one of these sometime in the near future. One of the great things about this shop is they carry a whole lot of other stuff like the Kemper profiling amps, lots of Vox, lots of Marshall stuff as well. Let's go around and take a look. If you want to experience something that's a whole lot of fun, turn one of these up to 10 and enjoy. Grab a Les Paul or something similar and you'll be in rock and roll heaven. Hey, there's my Marshall DSL 40CR amplifier. I still love this amp. It's a total plug and play amp. The only thing I add to it is some delay in the effects loop, and then it's good to go. No overdrives or distortions required. Out of all the amps I tried in 2018 so far, the MG30FX amplifier was definitely the surprise of the bunch. It's a great little practice amp. It's great to see that 5-Star Music support the blues. They have the best blues pedal of all time, right? Not that one, but this one, the Boss Metal Zone. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put a link up in the cards. There's also so many more electric guitars in the shop. Let's go around and check it out. What you're looking at right now are some Yamaha guitars. These are highly underrated instruments. I think they're really, really cool. 5-Star Music have one of the best selections of Schecter and Ibanez electric guitars I've seen just about anywhere. This wall is really crammed full of electrics and it just seems to go on and on. My tastes in guitars pretty much revolve around Strats, Tallies, Les Paul style electrics, and 335s. On the most part, there's a few others in there, but that's about what I would usually go for. I have to say though, some of these Ibanez guitars really looked great. While I'm not really into pointy instruments too much, some of these just look fantastic. This Schecter is called the Banshee. I have to say, I really dig this ocean blue top. I think it looks great. The only thing that scares me about a guitar like this, other than what the blues snobs will think, I don't really care about that, it's a joke by the way, is the fact the Floyd Rose looks so complicated. Other than that, I think it looks really, really cool. This guitar looks beautiful in terms of its color and design. I really dig it. It's interesting that they've sort of slanted the pickups and the bridge like that as well. Now, one of the interesting things about Ibanez, the way they come up with their model numbers, they get a cat to walk across a keyboard, and whatever comes out at the end, that's the model number. Yeah, this top looks stunning, and check out the Fishman pickups as well. Nice. This particular Ibanez is part of the Iron Label series. For those wondering the model number, it's RGIX6FDLB. So as you can see, pure kitten naming conventions. This Northern Lights burst has to be one of the nicest looking guitars I've seen in a very long time. Check it out, it's kind of translucent, kind of faded, just beautiful. As I mentioned at the start of the video, 5-Star Music have a whole lot of really great stuff. The shop is deceptively large. When you see it from the front, you don't expect it to be half as big as what it is. It just keeps going and going. And believe it or not, even excluding all of the acoustic guitars, there's still a whole other section to the shop. Let's check out some acoustics. Even more Lefties. Awesome stuff. If this particular left-handed Maton had a pickup system built in, I would have purchased this on the spot. I'm a big fan of these mini acoustic guitars. They take up less space, they're easier to carry around, and you don't necessarily need a really large body acoustic if you're performing live. A good pickup system is all you need. These Matons are great. I could, I guess, put a pickup system in it, but that said, I'll hold out until I find one that's just as is, already ready to go. Sigma acoustic guitars are one of those brands I didn't have a whole lot of experience with up until this year. I've actually played 2 of their acoustics that I absolutely fell in love with. One is beautiful and it's been on my mind since I played it. For the amount of money you spend on a Sigma guitar, they're definitely hard to beat. I always say that Chord acoustic guitars are some of the best for their price point. I would think Sigma is well up there with Chord as well. For what you pay, you get a whole lot back. If you don't know much about Australian-made acoustic guitars or acoustic electric guitars, Maton and Cole Clark, which you're looking at right now, are probably the 2 most popular guitars that are made in Australia. They're both actually made in my hometown here of Melbourne, Australia as well. I've actually been to the Cole Clark factory before, and it's pretty cool to see sort of what goes on behind the scenes. I'm going to have to follow that up at one point with a bit of a factory tour. If you'd like to see that, let me know in the comments. Just before I give you the rest of the tour, I thought I'd show you this. This caught my eye. It's a cowhide guitar stool. Very, very cool. For those of you who don't know, I've been recording and producing albums now for over 15 years, both for myself and other bands as well. It's really cool to walk through an audio section of a shop. This is a bit of a lost art in some stores. Most just carry instruments. It's really great to be able to find stuff like studio monitors, mixers, and just a massive assortment of microphones. When it comes to studio monitors, mixers, or any of that kind of stuff, I usually like to go to a store and pick it up in person. The reason is I get to touch it and feel it, make sure that it works, make sure that it's reliable, all that kind of stuff as well. If it's a studio monitor, I also get the advantage of being able to hear how they sound. That's the exact same thing I did when I picked up my Rocket 8 monitors from KRK many moons ago. The cool thing about 5-Star Music is if you just want to get into recording for the first time or you've been into it for a long time, they have some high-end rack gear, some high-end audio interfaces, as well as some stuff that's aimed at beginners, which is one of those things a lot of shops don't do. They either just stock entry-level gear or they just stock higher-end gear. So it's great to be able to go somewhere that has just about something for everybody. And that wraps up another Guitar Search Saturdays. As you can see from the shop, they've got something for just about everybody. If you're a guitarist, drummer, or you're into audio production, a bass player, or just about anything else, they've got something for everybody. Plenty of acoustic guitars, plenty of electrics, left and right-handed guitars, which is always awesome. Unlike a lot of shops I've been in where there's one sad Squier on the wall, it's great to see a store that actually thinks about us poor southpaws as well. So I can see why so many people recommend 5-Star Music. It's been great. The staff are really nice as well. So it's been a really cool experience, and I do plan on coming back and maybe just testing out that Supersonic with my own guitars. So we'll see how we go. I wanted to welcome all the new Patreon subscribers as well as thank the existing Patreon subscribers for helping support the show. If you do decide to go over there and support it, you'll get free backing tracks that you hear on my channel, as well as getting first dibs on any X-Demo pedals and gear that I no longer need. A special thanks to Colin, Jamal, Kristen, Mike, and BV for supporting the show. Once again, a huge thank you to 5-Star Music for letting me do this video. If you want to find out more about them, all the links will be in the description below. So what's the future of Guitar Search Saturdays? Just to let you know, I have one more planned that I want to shoot locally in this particular series, and then I'm also heading over to Denmark. While I'm away, I hope to shoot at least 1 or 2 episodes of Guitar Search Saturdays, so stay tuned, there's plenty more on the way, and all being well, we'll be able to do more episodes overseas in the coming year. Thank you so much again for the support. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you want to be notified of videos, click that little bell, and we'll catch you all soon. See ya.